What's up guys? So today I'm back for another informational video, except for today, since it was a super nice day, I decided to not do it on my casting couch. Instead, I'm outside with my nice car behind me. But today's informational video is going to be how to run E85 without flex fuel. Now, on my last track day, I decided to switch over to E85 and see what it was like, to see if I could really feel any differences in the car, and I actually really could. I'll get into more of the feel of how it was in the review of the E85 in a second, but for now, I want to talk to you guys about how to do it. So in order to do it, you're gonna need this, which is an open flash tablet. If you guys have watched my videos before, I have mentioned this thing. I made a review on the open flash tablet, and I also made a video for how to do a backfire tune on this. This is becoming one of my favorite gadgets for the car, because unlike everything else that I've done to the car, once you put those on, they're pretty much set. I mean, like, you have like adjustable sway bars and that kind of stuff which you can play with. This is the one where you can get the most fun out of, because you can constantly go back and revise the tune and do different things with it. So I really do recommend getting one of these if you like modding your FRS, BRZ, GT86, or 86. Whew. In order to set the E85 on this car, you need to download the E85 tune onto this device. Now, the E85 tune is going to go either if you have unequal length headers or equal length headers. So if you're still running the stock headers, then you're going to do the E85 equal length tune. But if you have aftermarket unequal length headers, then you're going to go the unequal length tune. You can find all of those in the link below. These are the open flash off the shelf tunes. They're not ones that I made. The entire tutorial that I'm giving right now is one that I did not make. This is one given by Vishnu or whoever is the person who does all this open flash tablet stuff, but I still thought I'd share it with you guys and give you guys my review. So in order to switch over from your car from 91 or whatever pump gas to E85, you're first going to need to run your tank down as much as you can. I went until the gas light went on. That was my indicator. Once the gas light comes on, you're pretty much good to go. So after the gas light comes on, you're going to go up to an E85 station and fill your car up with the 85. Do not switch over to the 85 tune just yet. That's a mistake that I made, and I then had to go switch back over to the 91 tune, which just takes a while. While your car now has E85 in it, but you're still running the 91 tune, you're gonna wanna drive around a little bit. Not hard. You're just going to want to drive around so that the rest of the 91 in the fuel lines can go into the engine before E85 goes into it. Now, before you start driving around, you're going to want to plug your open flash tablet back into the car and get to the point where you can monitor the LTFT and the STFT fuel levels. You can find that in like the settings where you monitor all of the data of the car, like the temperatures for the oil and that kind of stuff. And if you don't see it, you can go into the edit button and then add those into the fuel monitor, or into the monitor section, to where you can now see the STFT and the LTFT. So like I said, you're going to want to drive around, emptying out the fuel lines with the 91 until they have E85. And while you're doing that, try not to exceed about 2,500 RPM, because at that point you're just pushing your engine too hard with the not correct fuel levels inside it. So the next thing you're going to notice is that the STFT is going to increase dramatically. When you start driving around, it's going to vary, but you'll start to see when it starts going up dramatically, and then the LTFT will follow that. It's going to take like 1 to 2 miles, so don't expect it to happen immediately. Just go for a little bit. Either you're monitoring it or possibly a friend monitoring it, and then when you see those levels start to rise rapidly, that's when you know that the 85 has gotten into the engine. So at that point, you're going to want to pull over and switch your car over to the E85 tune. After the tune is downloaded, you're going to want to continue driving around, still monitoring those STFT and LTFT fuel levels. They're still going to be kind of wonky. They're going to be moving around a lot, but you're going to want them to stabilize. And once they start stabilizing in like a normal area and they don't really move much, that's when you know that the fuel is all set. You're going to want it to be between negative 10% and 10%, meaning the fuel LTFT and STFT levels. Once it starts stabilizing around there, then you're good. If it's too far below negative 10, then you know that the E85 to 91 levels are not very good, meaning there's too much 91 and not enough E85, but there's really not much you can do at that point. Try to avoid that. I went until, like I said, the gas light was on, and after I filled out with the 85, at that point it was at about a negative 4%, which was pretty good, so that's what I went off of. After the fuel levels start to stabilize, then you're going to want to do a couple pulls. So you're going to want to start at like 2,500 RPM, 2,000 RPM maybe, go up to 6,000 RPM, and then do it 2 or 3 more times. Now, by doing these pulls, you're teaching the ECU of the car the octane level of your fuel, because like I said, if you have a different amount of 91 and a different amount of E85, then the engine has to, and the ECU have to learn exactly what the octane level is at that point to manage the fuel. So at that point, you're pretty much ready to go as far as E85. I hope that that tutorial was pretty easy to understand, but I'm going to leave a link below for where I got all this information. This is the guide that I went off of, and it worked great. After I did all those steps, I immediately, and I mean immediately, hopped right onto the track and started racing, and I ran into no issues. So, I mean, it worked for me. Now, regarding my experience with the 85, I have a couple of pointers which are all pretty positive. Immediately when I got onto the track with the 85, I had just come off of the track from a 91 session, and I definitely could feel the difference as far as power. It obviously was not the difference between naturally aspirated and forced induction or anything crazy like that, but I definitely could feel a bit more oomph in the car. And it also did show a little bit in my times. I went from a 134 to a 132, which is a very big improvement. I honestly can't say that all of that came from the 85. I think I was just progressing on the track, but I definitely would say that some of that came from the 85. So you could say that this was track tested and you definitely could feel a difference. Also, there have definitely been tons of dynos that show you that E85 does increase your power output. Aside from that, I've also driven it on the road with the 85, and in straight lines you can't really tell a difference, but definitely while canyoning or on a track you can feel it coming out of the corners, and that's the main thing. It has much more of a sharp pull coming out of the corners, which is definitely a nice touch, and I think it gives this car more of a proper feel and kind of the feel that I hoped that it would have from the factory. So if you have an E85 station near you, I would definitely recommend trying this out because I don't think you'll be disappointed. The only thing about this, which I'm going to tell you about so you can expect it, that I'm not happy with is that now the engine has a harder time starting. I'll play you guys a clip right now what I mean. So as you can see, normally when you start the car on 91 or pump gas, it starts up immediately and it's revving all fine. With my catless car, it's very loud and it's all just awesome. But with E85, it has a lot of trouble starting up. At one point, it even died and I had to start it a second time. But after it starts up, it runs fine. I think it's just that because the 85 maybe burns cooler, it's harder for the car to warm up immediately. I'm not sure. But overall, I enjoy the E85 a lot. Not only does it give you more power and you could definitely feel it in the car, but also it burns cooler. So if you're at the track, you have less chance of overheating, which is always a good thing because it leads to less problems. And yeah, so that's a tutorial for how you run E85 in your car without flex fuel. The flex fuel kit costs like $500. This also costs $500, I guess, but this comes with like unlimited tunes and backfire and that kind of stuff, which if you guys want to see that video, it's gonna be there. Yeah. Before I go, I just want to ask a quick question to you guys. I make a lot of styles of videos. I make vlogs where I go to car shows or vlogs where I go to track days. I make these tutorials to help people out, mostly with FRS and BRZs. I don't think I've ever really worked on a car on the channel that wasn't an FRS. But I want to ask you guys what you guys want to see more of, because I have this wide variety of videos, and if there's something that you guys like more than others, I'd be happy to do that more. So just leave a comment below. Say that you like informational videos and you want more informational videos, you want more install videos, you want more vlogs. Whichever one you guys like the best, just let me know and I'll try to do more of those. So that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that I helped you guys out, but if not, you guys can check the links below for more information. Make sure you guys subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. I'll see you guys next time.